Davis. Most of my students have always called me Mrs. D. I'm standing in one of my favorite places. This is a marsh, and I just enjoy the marsh so much. And over the years, I've loved teaching students about the habitat in the marsh. And now I have grandchildren, and it's particularly special to be able to teach them. One of the things I've found over the years is that parents desperately wish that they had a toolbox of instructions to help them raise their children. Well, we do have the Bible, and it's filled with instructions in raising our children. But some of those instructions are just hidden a little bit, and I really have it in my heart to want to share some thoughts that I've discovered as I've been studying. We always talk about body, soul, and spirit. But you know, in the Bible, in 1 Thessalonians, it actually reverses that. It doesn't talk about body, soul, and spirit. It talks about spirit, soul, and body. And so when I think about training our children, and when I think about ways to encourage parents, the first thing I think about is perhaps we need to reverse our training. Perhaps we need to emphasize starting with the spirit. When I teach science, I always start by telling my students that the characteristics of living things are very important. And the first characteristic I describe as saying, well, things are born, they live, they reproduce their own kind, and then they die. I call that a life cycle. Well, that's true. And you might be saying, well, isn't that about the body and possibly the soul? Yes, but not for humans. Because we are made in the image of God, our spirits live on through all eternity. What I'm urging our parents and our own children to consider is this: if our children will live for all eternity, where will they live? We need to start with that most important tool, helping our young people understand that whilst the plants in the marsh around me and the crabs and all the other little critters out here will die and that's the end, it's not the end for us. Recently, a very special friend of ours passed away. Now, he loved the Lord, so we know that his eternity is with Jesus. But the thing that impressed me so much was our grandson, who's only 4, had a grasp on eternity. And this is what he said to his parents: did you know that Grandpa doesn't live in our country anymore? Do you know where he lives? He lives in heaven, and he's fishing with Jesus. Now, the end part's just childish understanding, but his concept that we leave our earth suits behind and we move to heaven is just credit to the fact that his parents have emphasized teaching the Spirit first. I really want to encourage anyone who's listening to this to stop and ask the question, have I helped my children understand the first principle, and that is they will live forever, and only if they know the Lord Jesus Christ will they live with him forever. Otherwise they will live apart from him.